Okay, let's try this again. So the first video I recorded did not take. So welcome, production students. Let's see. Let's make sure this keeps ticking. I see it. Okay, we should be good to go. All right, so we are entering into week 4. And this week, or we are entering into week 5. Excuse me, week 5, which we are looking at chapter 5 in the text. Scroll back through here. So in chapter 5, we're talking about inventory and inventory management. And from the original email that I sent out, I mentioned do not get bogged down in the models. And the reason I said that is because the models are fairly intense, and the models involve us using either Excel, us using a little bit, advanced math with modeling. And there aren't prerequisites for this course. So we're going to keep it fairly simple for the inventory management, work more on the concepts this week. And so I am looking at I have read chapter 5 in the test. Amen? In the text. So if you've been on to Blackboard, you will see that if you've been on recently, you'll see I added one extra video that I did not have up earlier. Let me talk a little bit about chapter 5, and then I will talk about the video. So chapter 5 gets into some of the variables and explaining what inventory management is. Explains the different types of models you might use, right? Businesses often have a proprietary setup where they have a different way or special way of gaining inventory, keeping track of inventory, and then reordering inventory. All right, so you will see 5.1 is just an introduction and talks a little bit about the flow of materials. 5.2, different types of inventory situations, right? So read through that. 5.2.2 talks a little bit about the demand distribution, talking about risk and uncertainty. 5.3 talks about inventory related costs and gets into that. 5.3.1, 5.3.2, etc. So these are some of the things that you want to pay a closer attention to. Costs of ordering, what might those be, right? Costs of setup and changeovers. If you are getting different types of inventory processes or inventory coming in, carrying costs of inventory, right? Just because you have stuff, you have to pay to keep it, either in a building or keep it cold, keep it hot, whatever it might be. Insurance on it, right? So carrying costs, think about what some of those might be. Discounts, right? Costs of not getting discounts. Out of stock costs, right? Walmart has made their millions by making sure that they don't have anything out of stock for too long. And the way that they build Walmarts is they are 4 hours from a distribution center. Every single Walmart is, or within 8 hours of a giant hub, right? And so if something were to run out, say at one of our local Walmarts, typically they can get those shelves, get a truck there, get it restocked within 4 hours. And if for some reason they're out at the distribution center, the larger hub distribution center will get it there in 8 hours or less. And so the way they do that is Walmart has, again, made their millions by saying people can't buy when it's not for sale, right? So there's a cost to not having items in stock. So you don't want to have too much of something, right? Because all of a sudden there aren't people to buy it. But you also don't want to have too little, right, of something, because then there's not enough for people to buy. You want to try to figure out that sweet spot. So 5.3 talks about that. Now 5.4 and 5.5, the EOQ and that's 5.4, and 5.5 is the EPQ model. The key thing I want you to look at, just kind of browse through these and look at some of the variables that are involved in these models, right? What are the important variables that need to be pulled and used to figure out how we're going to do our inventory system? And so like item cost, variable cost, looking from an annual standpoint is one way to do it. And at the bottom of 180, you'll see some different variables that are involved. Inventory holding costs, right? Depending on the type of inventory, depending on where you are, all of those things. The EPQ, again, don't get bogged down in the model, but really, I'm looking more that you understand some of the variables that are needed, right? What are the important components that these model, what numbers do they crunch? 5.7, quantity discount, right? Most of this, we know if we buy in bulk, we get it cheaper, right? Lead times, how fast can they get stuff to you? Couple different types of inventory systems to become familiar with, again, on 195 and 5.10.2 and 5.10.3. You're going to see some more models, but really what I want you to do is pay close attention to the variables that are involved in these models. And that's it for the chapter. So, pay attention to some of the variables, try to, get a grasp a little bit on the models. But when you look at the homework, there's 15 homework questions and then one problem that I want you to try. You shouldn't need to use a model in particular for any of them. But I just want you to try the homework. I'm not really grading on whether you get the problem correct or incorrect. I just want you to be thinking about the variables and try to come up with a logical solution for an inventory management problem. And so that is, you'll see 15 questions and then a problem. And that is what your homework is this week. There is a short video that I didn't have up earlier. What is inventory management? And I think the fellow does a nice job of explaining in a nutshell, really what inventory management is and what it means to a company. Make sure I'm still recording. Yay! All right. The other thing for this week, remember you have until Sunday, 11:59 p.m. versus Friday to turn in your homework for full credit, right? And it's on time. I will post week 6 on Saturday. And again, we're 3/4 of the way through the class as of Saturday. So that's wonderful, right? I know it's been tricky, but so that's Saturday. Sunday, chapter 5 or week 5 is due. The other thing, if you are behind at all, make sure that you reach out to myself, Andrea Campbell, Clarissa, Dr. Bowman. You still have time to withdraw. I think you have through the 30th. If you are like, I just can't get caught up this semester, I have too many things going on. We'd rather see a W and not have it affect your GPA if you're having issues, and take it again a different semester, right? Versus if you get an F in the course, it really affects your GPA and it's not great. So I don't want to see that happen. So reach out to somebody, do it this week too, because it's the last week you would have to take a W instead of an F if you are feeling like you can't get caught up. You can reach out to me via text, 814-490-6473, or via email, crobertson@ec3pa.org. I'm here if you have questions or concerns. Just try your best on the homework, right? Try to get a grasp on some of the items involved in production and inventory management really is what I'm looking at in this chapter, right? From the production and operations management under that umbrella. And so, again, assignments are due Sunday, not Friday. Just keep up the good work. And I will circle back around on Friday, Black Friday, just what you all need, right? And make sure everybody is still moving forward with week 5 and that you are staying caught up. I will try to get all of the homework up so you know if you're missing anything. And just try to stay warm this week, right? And either have a fun turkey day or maybe, like me, I'm going to maybe have a relaxing, quiet day, a de-stress day, right? We all need those. So have a great week, and I will circle back around with you on Friday, but I'm always here if you need to reach out.